Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. In today's video, I'll answer the question and have a discussion about Paris Saint Germain potentially winning its first treble, could say quadruple, could say what comes after that five-duple, could be six-duple, and could be seven-duple. I don't know if any club has ever won the seven-tuple. I know that Barcelona 09 won the six-tuple. And I know that Bayern München won the six-tuple back in 2020 under Hansi Flick. But Paris Saint-Germain could become the first team to win the seven-tuple. How it is. French Super Cup, I think we'd have to win it, the one next year. That's going to be held in the summer. The Ligue title. The Coupe De France. The Champions League. The Club World Cup. The UEFA Super Cup in their Intercontinental Cup, Club World Cup. Basically the old Club World Cup format, because that still exists. It just changed name. So we can potentially win 7 trophies and become the first historic team that has done a seven-tuple, including potentially going unbeaten in the league. And that's one thing a lot of people have to understand. This is not just has the potential to be the greatest Paris Saint-Germain season of all time. This has the potential to be one of the greatest footballing seasons of all time. An unbeaten league, a Champions League trophy in this new format as well, a Club World Cup, which is held every 4 years. I mean, it might be the GOAT season, depending on how we end the season. And that's why huge props to Luis Enrique, because I think Luis Enrique potentially is the main factor we're still competing for every single trophy this greatly, because he focuses on every single tournament. There was the seasons here at Paris Saint-Germain, I could clearly see that the players, the manager, the board, the club itself didn't care that much about the league, didn't care that much about the cup. It was mostly reliance on the Champions League. But ever since Luis Enrique came in, since last season, every single game matters. Every single game, there are no excuses. Every single game, Luis Enrique has high expectations on this squad, on its result, on its performance, which has created an insane winning mentality. I mean, ever since November, we've only lost once in all competitions. We haven't lost in Ligue this entire season. Luis Enrique hasn't lost a single Ligue game, away Ligue game, since he managed PSG. We obviously just broke or equaled AC Milan's 38 game away unbeaten streak, which is a legendary accomplishment. Just need one more and we have the longest league away unbeaten streak. The records that this Paris Saint-Germain team is about to break, historical. And I think everyone deserves prop. And as said with Luis Enrique, I think Paris Saint-Germain have like 20 players, 15 players with over 2,000 minutes, which just shows how he's used the squad depth as well as possible. Like, I think they're not 11 starters in this team. There are potential of 15 to 16 starters in this team, depending on how you see it. And I think that competition is once again something we haven't had at Paris Saint-Germain before. It was like 1-11, one base 11. Maybe one guy competes with one guy for one position. But it's been a consistent competition this entire season. I mean, I remember people saying that potentially Kangili should be a starter. I've seen comments about, I don't know, maybe Mayuru should be a starter. So is this constant competition? I mean, Fabio Ruiz is a great example. In the first 6 months of the season, just wasn't it. But the competition, the expectation added to his level. Like, he just didn't start the game because his name is Fabian Ruiz. No, he's had to deserve it, and now he's deserving to perform. Desidu is the opposite. He came in, from a new club and everything. It was very hard for him in the beginning, but then he forced himself into that starting 11. Like, now, when we're building the lineups into the best games this season, we're thinking we gotta fit Due in somewhere because he's been that good. And once again, this is not something we've had at Paris Saint-Germain before. Just team, player for player, cohesion, all of this is aiming for every single trophy. If we go through every single trophy, obviously, Trophies Des Champions, beat Monaco. Great game. Should have won more by 1-0. Should not have taken until the last minute of the game to win the game. But we got the winner. Dembele winner as well. Love to see it. Moving on to the Coupe de France. It was its toughest in the beginning. Obviously, playing Arsenal, away at Arsenal. That's not a great place to go to, especially in the first round of the cup. We went there, got the job done. Safanov as the hero. Then we played Le Mans, Stade Brun-Achine, Espali, and obviously recently Dunkirk. They all put up their challenge. I think two of the teams, scored the first goal of the game. Then we had to come back. It's been somewhat of a tough tournament, not opposition-wise, just game-wise, and probably our players coming in a bit arrogantly because we're facing so low-tier teams. We just have gotten the job done majority of the time with a heavily rotated squad. Then move on to the Champions League. Extremely tough start to this Champions League campaign. Obviously, we're playing tough teams right, left, and center, but that's still not an excuse for how we were performing. Obviously, Luis Enrique had his stuff. He was trying something new in this beginning of the season. Didn't work out, and thankfully moved slightly back to last season, but still has new ideas from this season. And it's been working perfectly. I mean, every single time I watch Paris Saint Germain in the Champions League now, I'm fairly believing and confident that this is the best team in the world. I mean, we just saw how we made Liverpool look. Sure, Paris Saint Germain only won on penalties. The game technically ended as a draw, but we could see the footballing quality from one side compared to the football quality from the other side. Yeah, the gap was too big. And we've seen Arne Slot after the game come out say PSG is the best team in the world. We've seen Pep Guardiola do that. And I think that's something that gives us also great confidence in the Champions League is we still somehow got the underdog gimmick. Because before when we were cooking and we had big names like a Neymar, like an Mbappe, yeah, then people were scared of us. But now that we're cooking and our main man is Ousmane Dembele, I think people are still undermining how great Paris Saint-Germain are, how great we are. And I think that suits the players, especially because we have a young team. And when they get doubted, they get really motivated to, improve the haters. I mean, we saw all the players after the first leg versus Liverpool. Every PSG player were like, yeah, we're going to go through. We're going to go through. We're confident we're going to go through. And they went through. They are a very confident team. Obviously, the leader of it being Luis Enrique, who, apart from first 3 months of the season when he was propping Girona manager and Mikel Arteta ass and stuff like that, sensational leader, especially for this young team. That's exactly what they need from their coach, and he's done exactly that. And then when it comes to the league, obviously, I remember in 15-16, I think we were unbeaten, maybe 30 games, and then lost 2 games towards the end versus Lyon and Monaco. So we have been in somewhat of a similar place, but I don't think it's been as comfortable this time, because this time I think the squad rotation is better, the aim is better. Even if we, get knocked out against the Madrid or against the Villa, I don't see us coming back to the league and that depression following with us and us dropping, stupid points or losing our first league end game of the season. I see us going unbeaten this season. Obviously, the toughest game probably left is Strasbourg away. That's going to be a tough game. But apart from that, I'm firmly believing that Paris Saint-Germain can collect all trophies this season. Everything relies on them. We've been very fortunate not having any major injuries this season as well. So I really don't think there's a valid reason for Paris Saint-Germain not to win all the trophies available to them and not to expect themselves to be winning that trophy. And one last note, the Club World Cup. I want more PSG fans to talk about it. I want more people to talk about it. It's going to be a very exciting tournament. I understand because it's a new thing. We're probably going to get all of the excitement when it starts, when it's being played. Everyone is like, oh my God, the Club World Cup is insane. I had no expectations of the tournament. But this is going to be a major tournament in terms of everything this year. And I'm very excited for it. That's been it from my boy PSGINT. So my answer is yes, Paris Saint-Germain will win the treble, the quadruple, the 5-tuple, the 6-tuple, and the 7-tuple this calendar year. That's been it from my boy PSGINT. And as usual, allez, Paris.